in August 2015. Now, in handing down Tulving's sentence, the judge noted that a staggering amount of money was stolen from the victims in such a short period of time. He also noted the seriousness of the offense and said that, and I quote, people were seriously harmed and their lives are affected. These people saved up money and they were hurt.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
It's just.
so Tulving will be ordered to report to the Federal Bureau of Prisons upon being assigned to one. All federal sentences are served without the possibility of parole.
Well, that's why you don't steal from people.
Yes.
Gosh, how hard is it?
And that story is available at coinweek.com. What's next on Pick Your News?
Wow, this is fun.
It's working out well.
Yeah,
You like
I
this?
like this. It's fun. Ooh. Let's try the Royal Canadian Mint offering Batman versus Superman.
The Royal Canadian Mint is accepting orders for 2016 $20 Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice silver coin. This, according to CoinNews.net, the latest issue from its popular series of 9999 pure silver coins. Shouldn't they be offered by the Germans if they're 9999? That sell at their legal tender face value.
That's the worst joke ever.
Thank you. Officially licensed and approved by DC Comics, this 49 silver coin features a fight scene based on the upcoming movie Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. Now, that said, can we keep the movie commercials out of it? I mean, I love the subject matter and the fact that it's interesting and people like it. But I mean, what are we going to do? Have like, let's see, Wolf of Wall Street 2?
Well, but hey, look at this. Look underneath on that story. Look down a little bit. And you'll see all the 20 for 20s that they have done, and look how many of them sold out.
Oh yeah, they've been tremendously popular. Although the 2015 ones, it seems, have not.
Well, they did one for Gingerbread Man. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe they're running out of ideas.
You know, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, Batman vs. Superman, there was a Bugs Bunny coin, there was a Superman coin, and the Superman coin, the sales are unknown.
How do you not know how many you sold?
I know, that's kind of puzzling to me. I think they're probably offering them through multiple venues.
Okay.
And so because of that, maybe some of the sales are unreported. I don't know.
Hmm.
I do know that there is not $20 worth of silver in these coins.
That's correct.
So it is somewhat likely that at some point they will circulate. That is my theorem on the whole thing.
Well, and for our American listeners, the Canadian dollar to American dollar exchange rate right now is pretty cheap. So, I think these are going to cost you somewhere around $15 or $16 plus shipping, US.
$15 or $16, and there's what?
There's some shipping, but
quarter ounce of silver in it.
Yeah, but I mean, still, you're getting it for less than its even denominated value in Canadian. Because for a long time, Canadian dollars and American dollars were just about equal there for a while. So
it's funny because as an aside, I've been kind of setting aside some older Canadian coins. I've just started collecting them because I think they're interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting to look at the coins when they were based on metal value, that the Canadian dollar actually was made of lesser fineness silver and a smaller size.
Mm-hmm.
So they purposely positioned their currency, to be less valuable than US. And to this day, if you want to spend US money in Canada, they're more than happy to take it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing that I get to show people when I show them like my Canadian silver dollars that I carry as pocket pieces, to be able to pull it out and pull out a silver dollar and show them and see there's a difference. And you ever wonder why Canadian money is worth less? And so what's next on Pick Your News?
Let's try Austria silver niobium.
Okay. I thought that this was a very, very interesting story. It showed up on the world section of the Mint News blog. Their time silver niobium coin.
Oh, I think we talked about these, didn't we?
We talked about this last week, and I showed you what a cool design it was and how great that is. Well, check this out. Austria has announced that its upcoming coin, composed of 9 grams of 90% silver and 6 grams of 99.8% niobium, which will be released March 9th. They're a 65,000 piece mintage has already been pre-ordered.
Oh wow.
So they're all sold out
I
already.
didn't even out yet.
Right.
Huh.
So they're priced at 70 euros. Uh, it is the opinion of the editors at Mint News blog that the coin is sure to see interest on the secondary market, where pre-sales are currently averaging around $100 US.
Huh.
And you know what else I think is really cool? You know who really likes this coin besides you and me?
Who's that?
Our editor, KG.
Really?
Yes, she really, really likes this coin. And guess what day it's being released?
Oh, on her birthday?
On her birthday.
Oh, you getting her one?
Well, I can't tell you
Wah,
that because
wah, wah. Oh,
she'll be listening.
oh, that's right. Well, don't get her one then.
Yeah. Okay, one last story. So finally, in the news.
Finally, in the news, let's try one of America's favorite board games goes cashless.
I was hoping that you'd go there because I am a huge fan of the game of Monopoly.
Well, yeah.
Coin Update this week has published an article. This week, one of the best-selling board games of all time made headline news when it was announced that a new version of Monopoly will no longer use cash as part of its play.
So, are you telling me that you, as the banker, you can't just slip $500 out of the bank and?
Not anymore.
Oh, lame.
They have got, they've started doing this thing with electronic banking, and I've seen it in different things, but they always had the cash along with it. The new Monopoly is going to be strictly electronic banking.
Huh.
So it's all going to be credit card. You're going to have a colored credit card.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to limit the number of players that you can have because it looks like there are only 4 of them. But less importantly, yes, you can't cheat. You can't steal money from the bank. No more free parking. I mean, this is going to change the game. Probably closer to how it was intended, but it's going to change the game. So in the story, they say that at the moment, reactions in the news and from consumers vary. Some are amused that the pesky little pieces of paper will no longer be a concern. Others are reacting with sorrow that a game which was completely unplugged will now bow to technology. One parent on Facebook quipped, "Wasn't one of the beautiful things about Monopoly that unlike almost anything other kids, toys, or games," this is what it said, "it didn't require batteries."
Yeah, that's true.
So,
yeah.
Further comments regard the move as potentially useful for teaching today's youth responsibility of the use of money that they can't see.
That's a stretch.
I think that that's really trying to sell us something.
Right.
But I will also say that, the other advantage to this is that you will no longer have the annoyance of trying to see how much money you have or trying to hide how much money you have.
Yeah,
or trying to keep track of all of it because I know the 3 days.
They provide you like a checkbook. I mean, I don't understand.
I'm really not sure how it's going to work. I know that they've kicked it down though to where there's only 4 players now.
Yeah. Well,
so it used to be that you could play with any number of players. Who knows?
More than 4 just gets too complicated.
To be honest with you, I mean, I've always been a huge fan of Monopoly, but I have to tell you, I haven't played in years because the game takes forever. Yeah.
And I'm a cheater.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
Do you play the extra rules with free parking and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm dirty. We play extra rules. We play dirty Monopoly. We play all sorts of stuff.
We were always a big Monopoly family when I was a kid, and I guess it's because it kept us quiet for hours on end. Maybe that was why my parents loved it so much.
Oh, maybe we should teach my kids how to play Monopoly.
This is Dennis Tucker from Whitman Publishing. You're listening to The Coin Show.
Matt.
Yeah. I'm here. I promise. I promise.
I'm sure you are. I had an experience this week that I wanted to talk to you about.
Sure.
Because I have long been one of these purists. And I have poo-pooed the idea of dipping coins and cleaning coins.
You have for years, as long as I've known you.
Yes, I mean, I have been like about as Debbie Downer on it as anybody I know.
Let me tell the story. Let me tell everybody how it really went down. So I'm at the office the other day, just working on a project, and my phone makes a noise, and I reach in my pocket and pull it out, and Mike sends me a text message, and it says, "I just dipped my first coin," and I kind of stared at it for a second, thinking, "What the heck?"
Where's Mike and what have you done with
Exactly.
him?
I thought that you had been abducted by aliens or something because um, as long as I've known you, it's just like the last thing I could imagine you doing. So um, I kind of took that as in disbelief. And I think my response to you was something along the lines of enlightening, isn't it? And you said yes. And then we decided that, you know what, we'll talk about this on the show. So that's kind of where we left it. So tell us all about it, Mike.
Okay, well, the first thing I want to say is that what I did to to brighten up and to take some album toning off of some Silver Eagles. So it started off innocent enough.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, that is
they're,
very
they're,
mundane
they're,
when it comes to dipping.
they're bullion. Okay, they're not coins. They're not collector coins. There are millions of them. Whatever. So we pulled them out of this album, and they've got that kind of purplish, rosy toning to them that they get from Dansko albums from being in them for a while. And the guy that owns the coin shop looks at it. He's like, man, I really kind of wish I could clean these up a little bit. He's like, you think we should dip these? And I'm like, you know what? To be honest with you, we're not talking about anything that can't either be replaced or that, nobody's going to cry for these coins if they're wrecked. You know what? Let's try it. So I went back and first thing I did was I got some pointers on it from some people that I know on how exactly to do it. And I think that your advice was probably the best. It's like use really hot water to rinse them. Make sure you rinse them completely. I wore gloves when I did it, and I will tell you, that Easy Est, which is what I used, smells awful.
Nasty. It's horrible.
Oh God, that stuff smells.
It smells like a mixture of Jägermeister and mouthwash,
and nowhere near as tasty.
No.
So basically, it kind of started with that, and I was looking at the results that we got because my intention was to make the coins as original as possible, and to try and do it without harming.
Yeah, sure.
And so we went through all the Silver Eagles that we had to do from the album, and some of them cleaned up really, really nice. Some of them got a little washed out. It's hard to know what happened to them before we got a hold of them.
Yeah, or what they look like before they got toned. Sure.
Right. So it wasn't. Well, this is just barely peripheral toning around the edges of the coin.
You would be amazed at how much toning can hide. I'm just going to say that because I've noticed it over the years.
So then what I decided to do was, we have in the shop that I work in part-time, he has bins of junk silver. Mm-hmm. So there's a little Tupperware container that's got dimes. There's one that has quarters. There's one that has, halves, and one that has silver dollars in it. And so I go through the quarters because I know that there's 64Ds in there. And I know that they're going to be really nice coins, but they've been sitting around, they've been handled, they've been banged around. I know that I can go into this junk bin and I can take anything I want and do a little experimenting.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I found a really, really nice 64D that had just been toned, and the coin looked fine, just not bright, and I took it back and I dipped it, pulled it out, rinsed it, did everything else, patted it dry really good, and walked out and showed the guy that owned the store. And it looked like it just come out of a fresh mint roll when I was done.
Yeah.
The luster was absolutely screaming on this coin when I was done.
Yeah. Now, did you play with it any more than that, or was that like the end of it?
What I'm doing at this point is I took a couple of other coins, and I'm kind of doing it with different coins to kind of establish what the limits are of what you can do. What you should do it with, we're trying not to do it with what you shouldn't do it with.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to talk about.
Yeah, the coins that it doesn't help and stuff like that. And I'm just, you got to understand that my understanding of this is very rudimentary and it's really basic. But then what I've done is I've taken the quarters that I dipped and I put them into 2x2s, and we just left them in a case in the shop because I want to look at them over the next couple of weeks.
They're not going to change.
And see what happens. And so far, nothing has changed.
Yep. No, that's the thing. And I, this